Gordon G says, so now you're Trump. What are you talking about, homie? I'm literally talking about the fact that Democrats demagogue the murder of their political opponents all the time. But when Trump said fight like hell, he was guilty of a crime. But now none of them have anything to do with the assassination attempt. I'm no way comparing myself to Donald Trump. I have both ears still. That was rude. Poor Donald. He'll probably get that thing fixed, though. Ears? I don't even need ears. I don't need to hear what other people's opinions are. They're not very good. I've seen opinions. I've heard opinions. Couple of good opinions. They really say, I've talked to a lot of people. I've got great opinions about things. I've talked about this a little bit, where most murderers don't murder again. Like, because their issue with the person they murder is resolved. It's usually something very like specific. It's usually someone they know. There's some either some build. I'm not going to say it's all heat of passion in the moment or whatever, but there's some building thing. But once it's gone, like, well, they're not going to kill anybody again. But there are also just the sociopathic murderers who are out there who treat human life as garbage because maybe the community that they grew up in treated human life as garbage. That's what they saw. You see this in Southside Chicago. You see this in New Orleans. You see this in the major metro areas where life is literally expendable, and people come out. So that, yeah, they'll oh gosh, it was one of my favorite moments in The Wire when Bunk Moreland he's talking to all the criminals. And he's like, gave him get out of jail free cards. And one guy's like, I got some bodies. And Bunk's like, how many? And he goes, and Bunk's like, oh. But it's like, this guy has killed 4 people because he doesn't see life as anything important, because his life wasn't. And so they do get that person who skips bail, or they grant them bail. Bail's paid for by, maybe a drug dealer, a gang member, whoever. And that person goes out and just ices a family of witnesses. And that's that. And that judge has to live with that decision. Most people aren't like that, but it is the one that makes the news. And it's the one that ruins the lives of so many.
Exactly. And it ends up leading to the deprivation of liberty for 100 other people. Because like, maybe you're totally innocent. Maybe you're no risk to the community, but in the 1 in 100 chance, even though the evidentiary standard is 51%, it just has to be 1% for you to be denied bail. And it's how the system quits functioning and breaks down. And what we've seen it is at multiple levels of governance in society. And Trump has just been a living example of exemplifying it and demonstrating almost accidentally. It was like the way Dennis Miller described his support for Ross Perot in 1992. He said, this guy's just going to go in and everything's going to get exposed by accident. He's just, just the reaction to his independence is going to be so over the top. We're going to figure out corruption we didn't even knew existed before.
And outside of people who do this heavy research, you can coast through on that job for a really long time. You don't have to have aspirational, ideas of becoming a Supreme Court justice or whatever. You can just make quite a bit of money, have quite a bit of power and influence. And people who like that sort of structure, who thrive in a government position, man, that is the dream. Wait, I can never be fired unless I like murder someone. And even then it's questionable. I can never be fired. I can get good pay forever. And the worst case is someone might disagree with me and tell me I was wrong. And I go, sorry. And you can't be sued ever.
And it naturally attracts sociopaths and psychopaths.
Just like college professorships, which is the same thing with tenure, really. Like,
or like I used to explain this with priests. Like, it was like, why priests and elementary school teachers have a disproportionate rate of child abusers. I was like, it's access. I learned this actually from a cop in New Haven. So I was going to move off campus at Yale. And I went to the local police station and asked them, okay, where's safe, where's not? And the cop said, think like a criminal. You'll know what's unsafe by looking at, if you were a criminal, would you think it's safe to commit a crime there?
Destiny is weird. He had me on a while back and we discussed presidential immunity. We debated it. And he was like, making all the terrible arguments that are out there. Well, like, couldn't the president just like murder a political opponent? It's like, well, I mean,
Barack Obama did that.
Yeah. Then we're Halawaki. It's like, well, he wasn't. It's like, well, it doesn't matter. But it's like, yes, but no. Like, it's not. There's a whole bunch of people involved, and they all have to determine that the order is legal and valid, and then do it. It's like, if Trump's like, we're going to take out this elementary school full of children. Look, they're all Al-Qaeda. They've been hiding underground and we're going to bomb them. The guy who's dropping the bombs, like, that's a bunch of kids though. Like, I don't know if I want to do that. People have to make those moral decisions. People are not automatons. I think everybody after Nuremberg is thinking, well, people always submit to authority. It's like, well, no, the system has to be generated to basically create the authoritarian response. And it does work, and that happens to some degree. But when an act becomes so morally heinous and so legally questionable, just because Joe Biden or Donald Trump says, yeah, we're going to go kill the Trumps, like, that's not just going to automatically happen from SEAL Team 6. It's much more efficient for Joe Biden to pay some random guy to try and kill a political opponent than to actually send SEAL Team 6 out. That would be the better option for most people.